What is up, guys? It's your boy NCSO7 here, and welcome to another collection video. So, today I'm going to be finally showing off my Nintendo Switch collection. Now, the reason why this is being split into two parts is because I've got so many games for my Switch. A lot of them are digital. Like, I've got actually quite a bunch of physical games on my bed right here, but I do have a lot of Switch games that are digital, and I've just got a lot of them. So, I'm not going to waste too much time. Let's get right into this. Starting off with the first game, which was also a launch title for the Switch, that being 1-2 Switch. This game isn't really that good. Like, it was okay when the Switch first came out, but it's really not that good. Like, the minigames are fine, but it's like there's not enough to the game. Barely anything. This isn't even worth like $10. This should have been free with the system. I don't know. This game just, nah. Not very good. And another game that isn't very good, I know that's going to piss some people off, is Among Us. So, I got Among Us on the Switch when it came out. I'm not a person who's into Among Us at all. I haven't even played the game online once. I played free play mode a couple times, and it was alright, but it wasn't really that good. Not really the kind of game that I would honestly say is that good. And it's just another one of those viral games. It just got way too popular. So, I'm actually going to put that there. So, the next game I've got is Animal Crossing New Horizons. So, this is an amazing Animal Crossing game. It isn't as good as New Leaf, and, it does definitely lack some of the charm of the other, the previous games. But I still think that New Horizons is very, very good. It is a very good Animal Crossing game, especially after the atrocity that was Amiibo Festival. And it's just a really good game. Honestly, I can't really say too much about it. I do wish, though, that this game had a lot more, charm to it, but I don't know. Even so, still my second favorite Animal Crossing game, but it is not better than New Leaf. The next game I've got is actually kind of two games I'll lump together. So, Arcade Archive Mario Bros. And then Arcade Archive Super Mario Bros. Versus Super Mario Bros. So these are two games that were part of Arcade Archives, which were these games that were put on the Switch eShop, which were basically arcade games. And of course these are Mario Brothers and versus Super Mario Brothers, which is a different variation of Super Mario Brothers. There's not really much for me to say about them. I don't have anything to really say about it because it's just, they're the arcade games, though I'd prefer to play them in the actual arcades. That's the thing, is that it's I'll talk about this later, but I prefer playing arcade games in the arcades rather than on a console. And I'll explain why later. But anyways, moving on to the next game, that is ARMS. So, ARMS is a game that, it's good. I remember I got this for my birthday in 2017, and it's a fine enough game, but it's the problem is that I feel this game is way too boring though. I feel the fact that there's not really a lot to the gameplay is kind of the issue. And not only that, the lack of a lot of stuff single player modes, there's no story to this game at all. It just makes the game feel lacking. I feel Nintendo wanted this to be a Splatoon situation, but they didn't put anywhere near as much story into this game. And they tried, but it just never worked. And they tried to reignite interest by putting Min Min in Smash Brothers. Didn't really work. And thus this game, and it's sad because even so, this game is good. It is a fun game, but it's just, they didn't do enough to make the game actually that interesting. I don't know what you're gonna do about it. I don't know. Maybe they'll make a sequel, but I don't know. So the next game is another digital game, that being Bendy and the Ink Machine. Now, I have not actually finished Bendy and the Ink Machine. I do intend to at some point in time. I've only done the first chapter of the game and just got lost in chapter 2. I do intend to go through the game eventually, sometime hopefully later this year. There's a lot of games I want to go through. One of the games I'm going to mention later, but it's an alright game. I don't really like it that much, but I don't know. It's been a while since I've played it. Who knows? And I've still got to play the rest of the game, so who knows? The next game is not on the Switch. Another box. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. So, I don't really have a lot to say about Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. I don't know. The game's fine. It's good that it came to the Nintendo Switch, but there's not really a lot else to say about it. They removed the Super Mario 3D World stages, which really pissed me off. Like, they did replace it with Super Mario Odyssey stages, which you could see on the box. But, like, they got rid of the 3D World stages, which is just so dumb. Like, that ultimately means that this version's losing content. I don't like it. I mean, I do have Captain Toad Treasure Tracker on, like, the Wii U anyway, so it's not a big deal. And besides, this isn't really that kind of game that I'm like, oh my god, like, I'm that freaking out over it. But no, even so, like, it's just annoying. But, I don't know, it's a good game. It's a competent way to play the game if you don't have a Wii U. 3DS version doesn't exist. So, the next game. Oh boy, you might want to get the kids out of the room for this one. Catherine Full Body. So, this is how I played the Catherine Full Body Atlas game. One of the few Atlas games, actually. But this game, I made a review of this game. I made reviews on lots of these games, so you can check those out. These are just abridged opinions. This game's fine. I don't know. I don't really see much of a reason to go back to the game. I actually still have... well, first of all, this amazing artwork that looks very nice, and also the keychain thing that came with the game. So, that's cool. But even so, though, like, it's a good game. I wouldn't really say too much about it. Like, I thought the story was good, but I just don't have a good reason to return back to it. It's gonna be hot as hell in here, because it's really hot in this goddamn house, especially this room. So, anyways, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. So, Crash Bandicoot, I haven't really played a lot of it. I've only played the Insane Trilogy, and only the first game. I haven't finished it, but I might do it eventually. There's a lot of games I'm never gonna finish, so just keep that in mind. But it was alright. Like, it was a good port, but I didn't really get that into it. And then the next game is Cuphead. So, I remember when this game was first revealed, and I was actually at, like, a doctor's appointment, because my knee actually, I twisted this bad boy, like, a couple of years ago, during Taekwondo class, because I used to do that. And I remember I was in the doctor's office, and I was on Twitter, and I was just seeing that apparently, like, somebody tweeted about, like, Cuphead on Switch, and I was like, oh, man, only dreams could say otherwise. But then it was real. The game was coming to Nintendo Switch very soon, and it was just so good. I love Cuphead, but it's actually a good port of the game, too. Like, it's actually good. It does have frame rate issues, and it also does have long load screens, but it's a faithful version of Cuphead. If you only have a Switch, play it on there. It's perfectly fine. Yeah. So, next game is, oh boy, Dark Souls Remastered. I don't even have much to say about this game. This game is just whatever. I guess if you're into, like, Dark Souls and stuff like that, or hard games, this is good, but I didn't like it. I will say the game does have good frame rates and graphics, but nah, I'm not really into it. I might try Demon's Souls on PS5, but even so, though, I don't even know how much I really want to do that. So, next game is Deltarune Chapter 1. I have nothing to say about it. I barely played any of it. I don't care about it. So, the next game is Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Now, this was actually, this was a much more recent purchase I made. Like, I got this, like, just, like, actually to the day I'm recording this, which is technically yesterday. But, DDLC Plus, I've talked about the game before. It's fine, but it's not really the kind of game that I'm like, this is an amazing work of art. It's good for getting it on consoles, but it's really not that good as an actual... We shouldn't have gotten this after 4 years. But, I don't know. That's what I think. I think the game is only okay. But, I don't know. So, the next game on the list is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. So, this is a game I actually have for Wii U, but the disc broke. I don't know what happened, but, like, eventually the Wii U would stop reading disc properly. And that's why I was very excited to find out that the Switch version of the game was going to be coming out, because that gave me a chance to finally finish the game, because I didn't finish it beforehand. And Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is a great game. Absolutely amazing Donkey Kong game. I'm not super into them, but I liked Returns and this game, although I like Returns more, though. But Tropical Freeze is still a very good game. Next game is Doom 2016. Or I guess Doom 2017, since that's when this version of the game released. I don't really... this is the only way I've played Doom 2016 thus far. Don't worry, I'm going to be getting the PS4 version eventually, if I can find it at a cheap price at Best Buy. But honestly, I didn't really care for this game. This game is not fun to play on the Switch. I would really not recommend it. It just incites migraines. It's just a headache inducer with the low resolution and like just how fast-paced of a shooter it is. I don't know. So play the game on like, don't play it on Switch. Like, it's cool they put it on Switch, that and like Doom Eternal, but like, I don't know. They should not. Like, it's cool novelty-wise, but it's not really something I would honestly play. The next game is just the original Doom, which I played very little of, and it's just whatever. I don't really care about it. The next game is Fast RMX. It's an alright game. It's kind of like an F-Zero kind of game. You kind of race, you have to change like the color to like go fast. I didn't really play much of it. It's a fine enough game, but it's like, it's just not that interesting to me. I don't know. And then the next game is Final Fantasy VII. So this is the way that I played the original Final Fantasy VII. I've not gotten very far in the game. I've only played like 5 hours of it. And it's okay. It's a good game. I respect the game, but I wouldn't say I really like it that much. Like, it's a fine enough game, but I don't know. The game has issues, and I feel like the game definitely could age a little better, like, in some aspects. There is the remake, but the remake is its own can of worms. But Final Fantasy VII, good game, probably never going to actually finish. The next game, which is another recent game, is Fire Emblem Three Houses. So, I got this game around the time of its 2-year anniversary, because it's been 2 years since the game came out. And I kind of wanted to get this game for a while. Like, just kind of like, I want to see if I would enjoy the game. And, like, and then, like, Smash Brothers, like, it kind of made me not really, like, care much for Fire Emblem. But I did eventually get this game, like a couple weeks ago. It is such a good game. Like, I'm going to do a review of it very soon. I'm going to try and finish the game as soon as I can. I'm going the Black Eagles route. I'm at, like, Chapter 14. And I'm going to do a character tier list as well later down the line. Once I see enough stuff for, like, Dimitri and Claude. But it's an amazing game. There's not much for me to say about it. I'm going to make a video about it later. It's an absolutely amazing game. So next we got 4 games that I'm going to just go through quickly because they're all kind of the same thing. And that is the FNAF games. FNAF 1... 2, 3, and Sister Location. Now, I actually have only really played mostly FNAF 1, 2, and 3. I have not played Sister Location much at all. But it's cool. It's good to get, like, the FNAF games on consoles. It's very nice, even if they don't work that great on consoles. But it's still great to see these games, like, just on consoles at all. Not really much to say about it. I made a review of it a while ago, so check that out. If you want to. Just go to my N7 reviews thing and go through the list. So the next game is Fortnite. I stopped playing Fortnite on Switch around like, I don't know when it was. I don't know. Actually, it's probably given based on the icon, as the icon is actually, I believe it's like season 7 or 8. One of those two when I eventually like archive the game because I don't play Fortnite much anymore. And if I do, I play it on PS4. But Fortnite, it's an okay game. There's not really much for me to say about it, though. And then the next game is Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. This is one of the few Muso games that I've played. I didn't really care that much about it. It's a good game, but I wouldn't really say it captured me at all. It didn't really make me go like, oh, this is a great game. It's just kind of a whatever game. It's a fine enough game for what it is, but I don't really care about it. Sorry, Muso lovers. But there is another one that I actually do truly like. And now, the next game, digital game, Kirby Star Allies. So, this is a game that I know a lot of people are not into. But I kind of like the game. I will admit it isn't a great Kirby game. It has a lot of issues. Like, the content of the game really isn't that good. And it's ridiculously easy, too. But I don't know. I just like the game. Maybe it's because of when I played it, I wasn't in the best state of mind or something like that. I don't know. Actually, that might be it, because I did play the game at a time when I wasn't really in the best state of mind, around the time it released. And maybe that, I don't know, that might have just made me like it a lot more. I don't know, but Kirby Star Allies has its issues, but I still think it's an alright game. The next game is Luigi's Mansion 3. I don't even really talk about this one. This game is absolutely amazing. Possibly my favorite Nintendo Switch game. I'm not sure, but it is up there. It is a phenomenal game. It makes me really hopeful for the rest of the series. Now, one game that I'm not so into is Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. And this is actually archived because I stopped playing the game. I made it through like the first chapter and I was just so bored by the game. Like, I know they're doing like a new Mario and Rabbids game for like a sequel for like next year. That's cool and all that. I'm glad they're doing like sequels and stuff like that to these kinds of games. But even then, like Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle just isn't really my thing. I think the gameplay is just really not my thing. I don't like the gameplay. It just feels very weird, but it doesn't feel weird in a good way. So I don't know. The next game is, of course, the most sold Switch game, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There's not really much to say about it. It's an amazing Mario Kart, my favorite Mario Kart. Even despite the game's issues, such as the character roster, and of course the battle mode not having a endless time mode. But even so, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still such a great game. One of the best Mario Kart games, one of the best racing games I've played. Next, another game that I can actually have a video of is Mario Tennis Aces. I talked about this game many times before. I had like my original review of the game where I was very pessimistic towards the game. And then I made a review eventually, I don't know when it was, like earlier this year or last year. And I was like, you know what, it's an alright game. But I will definitely admit that this could have been a much better game. Like, if this game's adventure mode was just so much more interesting and the game had more content, it had more character, I think the game would have been very good. And I don't have Mario Golf Super Rush, but I will definitely say that given what I've heard about that game, I don't think Camelot should be making Mario sports games anymore. I don't think they should be doing it. Hit it to next level, Nintendo. They actually care about their games. They won't just rush stuff out for quote just to get money. Next game I have is Mega Man Legacy Collection. This is an alright game. I didn't really play much of it. I only played, like, really Mega Man 1. It's a good game. If you want to get into Mega Man, I don't really see myself getting into Mega Man because it's difficult. But I'm not a very skilled gamer. Next, I've got, well, kind of two games, but Minecraft, and then the original version of Minecraft for the Switch. So I mostly played the Nintendo Switch version of Minecraft because, like, the Nintendo Switch edition, because that was the one that released first, and, like, I played a lot of that. It's, like, my favorite way to play Minecraft, except now I play it on PS4. Minecraft's an amazing game. There's really not much to say about that game. Next is a bit of a more interesting game. So, this is a game called Mom Hid My Game. And this is basically a point-and-click puzzle game where you have to try and get your game console back. And I actually found out about this game because Dashi XP, or Dashi Games, he played it on like his YouTube channel, his gaming channel. And I just gave it a shot, and it's a good game. There's really not much to say about it. It's a cheap Switch game, but it's there. So, for the next game is Monopoly for the Nintendo Switch. Did not play much of it. I don't really care. Actually, is that the... Let's see. I actually want to see it. Time last played. Oh my god, like, the time last played for it is the very bottom one. I probably haven't played the game in maybe 3 years. But that was a game that I just did not care about in the slightest bit. So, the next game on the list is Namco Museum. So, this is like Namco Museum on the Switch. It's got like 11 games in it, as well as Pac-Man Versus. It's an alright game, but I wouldn't really say it's that good at the end of the day. It's fine enough, but I don't really like playing Pac-Man with it. I don't know. It's okay, but it's like, it's not really that good either. I don't know. It's a fine enough game. The next game is a new Pokemon Snap. I haven't really played that much of this game. I'm not really into it. I will say it is a good game, and I'm glad Nintendo did make a new Pokemon Snap game, but I'm not really that into Pokemon. Like, I've tried, but I'm just never, ever gonna get into Pokemon. And I think, like, I'm gonna get Legends Arceus, because that does seem like it'll be a unique game, but that's probably the last Pokemon endeavor I'm gonna have. This game is good, but it's like, I don't see myself going back to play it anytime soon. Next, we've got New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Ported New Super Mario Bros. U. It's fine. I think that New Super Mario Bros. U isn't as bad as I used to think it is. It was, but even so, I still think it was definitely a game that I think Nintendo shouldn't have made. I mean, especially with, like, Mario Maker 2, but I don't know. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe is fine. Next is Ninjala. Ninjala is fine. I don't really have much to say about Ninjala. I didn't really get into it. It was kind of like, it was going to be like kind of the next Splatoon, but I don't know. It just never really connected with me. Like, I played it like a couple times, and now it's kind of just like, this ain't that much fun. Glad it was free, though. So next we have just the NES online stuff. I wish there weren't so many repeats. Like, there's so many special versions of NES games, and, like, they don't add a lot of the good ones. Like, they don't add stuff like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or like Ghostbusters, or Dick Tracy. They don't add those games. They just add weird, obscure games that no one cares about. And that applies to Super Nintendo as well. When are we getting Earthbound on the SNES Online? Never. Unless we get a Mother collection at some point, because that would actually be pretty lit. But they're never going to do that. They don't care about Mother. They don't even know what Earthbound is. Which sucks. But anyways, next I have the Nintendo Labo Toy-Con, like, 4, like, kit thing. Basically, this was for the VR goggles. I know it doesn't really show it here, but basically for the VR goggles. I made a review of the VR goggles a while back. It's okay, but it's not really that special. Next game is Octodad Deadliest Catch. This is an alright game. It's probably not the best on Nintendo Switch, but I do still think the game is pretty solid at the end of the day. It's a charming game. I do wish that they would make like a sequel to the game, but I don't think they're ever going to do that. But even so, it's still a really good game. I'm going to hit that again. Alright, good. A lot of these are physical. So, next to the few of these are going to be mostly physical, which I'm not going to do many more of this. I'm going to probably cut it at some point. But, next game is Paper Mario the Origami King. I will defend this game until the cows come home. It is a good Paper Mario game. I don't understand why people complain about this. Like, I don't know. I understand if you don't like the game, that is completely fine. But I don't know why people say this game isn't good. Like, it's such a good game. It has so much exploration. It has great music, great visuals. And the story, while it could be better, I think the way it's presented is very good. It's a fun game. And video games are fun. Why do we have to whine about it? I don't really play this game much anymore, though, because of that. Especially because some reviewers, I'm not going to name drop, but some people can be very, very stupid, but I'm not going to dive into that. Even so, this game is absolutely amazing. It isn't the best Paper Mario game ever, but it's still a good game at the end of the day. Next game is Payday 2. So, this is also the way I play Payday 2. I wouldn't recommend it, because this is a multiplayer game, and I don't know. I would actually like to get this game on, PS4 and, play it with, my friends, but I don't know when that's gonna happen. But Payday 2, it's a good game. I wouldn't really say I'd play it on, Switch, but that's what I bought it for, so I don't know. And next, I'm going to do 3 more games for this part of the collection. Is Persona 5 Strikers. So, I initially bought this game on PS4, but I did eventually buy the Nintendo Switch version for $40. I haven't really played that much of the game. I played, Alice's Jail and then most of Natsume's Jail, but I didn't finish it. It's a faithful version of the game. I think it's good. I think Striker's an amazing game. Probably not my game of the year for 2021, but still a very, very good game. Absolutely recommend it. And like the Switch version is still competent. I'd still recommend playing the Switch version. Like, even so, like, it's still a good version of the game. I'm just saying that it'd probably be better to play it on PS4, especially like PS5, but most people don't have PS5, so that's just sad. And the next game is Pokemon Shield. Now, I know a lot of people do not like Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I understand why. The games don't look very good. But even so, I don't know. Pokemon Shield's alright. I don't think the game's that bad. But I definitely do understand why people may not like it. And even so, it still didn't really get me into Pokemon like I was kind of hoping it would, but that's fine. Not every game has to appeal to me anyways. That's perfectly fine. But Pokemon Shield, it's a fine game. And Sword as well, but I didn't get Sword. And then, for the last game that I'm going to show on this part of the collection is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. So this is another situation where I wasn't able to get into it. It's a good game, but I don't know. Pokemon is something I didn't grow up with, so it's hard for me to get into it, so I do apologize about that. I wish I could get into it, but I can't. But anyways, that's all that I'm going to do for the first part. It's hot as hell in this room, and I need to get some fresh air. And then I'll record the second part of this, which will come out tomorrow. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Let me know what you think of some of the games I have, and like maybe you let me know like some of the games you guys have that I didn't show. So with that being said, this is N207 signing out. Peace.